Anna Novykova is in Kyiv, right in the middle of things. And welcome to this conversation, Anna.
Well, hello.
Tell me a bit about the geography. You look like you're in a basement. Can you hear any fighting? Have you seen any? Just try to set the scene for us, please.
Yes, I'm in Kyiv, and we hear a lot of um, shootings, and elderly is working. So every day there is air raid, and we hear is very, very nice.
Now, you have been trained in international reporting. And I'm an old journalist, and I know that when I have gone to areas where, for example, peacekeepers are, I want to shoot barbed wire, I want to get the sound of gunfire, I want to shoot military vehicles, but there's a lot of other stuff out there. How prominent, I know this sounds a little naive, but how prominent is the war in your life and your neighborhood?
Before war, I was businessman. I had business, I had family in Kyiv. Right now, we evacuate our children to Poland. Some of our parents they are evacuated already. We are still in Kyiv, and we try to work and do our best to help our army and our people here. But it's scary to stay here. It's scary and difficult.
Well, I'm sure it is. The methodology in urban warfare is for the enemy, the Russians, to destroy as many buildings as possible because the defender, the Ukrainians, can use buildings as great cover, firing from the windows and going from room to room and even apartment to apartment by knocking holes in the wall. So is that what's going on, the destruction of large buildings and neighborhoods?
Yes, it's true. It looks like they want to destroy all Ukraine and all Ukrainians. They shoot just people and our volunteers, our militaries, our guys, and it's looks like they want to destroy everything and everyone.
Well, they have no other strategy. They can't seem to get their troops into the city. They can't, for some reason, are not using their air force. So long range, inaccurate projectiles and bombs are the weapon that they have. Anna, you also have an education in economics. Tell me what you think the international sanctions are doing. I mean, I've heard that it takes weeks or months for some of them to come into place. I've also heard that some of them are hurting average Russian people or making Putin more intransigent. What's your view of these sanctions?
No, actually, it's difficult to say how it influenced Russians because it looks like they don't worry about these sanctions and economic in their country, but I know that some of them feels um, these sanctions of other countries and worried about this. But anyway, I think that many of Russians stay believe to Putin and still believe that in Ukraine they make only military actions. Don't, it's not war, just they want to save us.
Now, you speak English, Ukrainian, and Russian,
Yes.
which is one more than language than most Canadians speak, and two more than most Americans speak. Um, my understanding is that Eastern Ukraine is Russian speaking and has more of an affinity with Russia than Western Ukraine. Can you give me an idea of what you think the Russian soldiers are feeling invading a place that speak the same language and are, to some extent from the same culture?
No, I'm speaking Russian too in my private life. But anyway, Russians, it looks like they don't understand us at all. It's no, for them, it's no problem to shoot women or children. And this is scary. It doesn't matter language. Doesn't matter you are talking Russian or Ukrainian. It doesn't matter that for them.
So you don't feel there's any affinity with the Russian soldiers and Ukrainians? Because one report we have is they were lied to. They were told they were going on exercises, and when they found out they were invading Ukraine, they weren't as motivated. Morale was low, and this convoy is kind of stuck. What's your view?
Yes, we heard about this, that they are not, some of them, they have a problem with motivation to be in Ukraine, but not all of them. And we hear that some of them, not some of them, we hear that Russians army, they have приказ. They have order to shoot everyone's.
Well, it's terrible. Anna, you also have training in international reporting and at least worked in, I think, as a CFO, a television station or network. What do you think of reporting? Are you seeing much Western reporting, and are you able to judge it?
We have so many work here to help people. So unfortunately, we have no time to check every reports. Unfortunately, we
Well,
have too many tasks here.
of course, that was a bit of a silly question on my part, because you're in a war zone, you're helping people, and you don't have time to watch TV. But I just thought if you've caught some out of the corner of your eye, you could comment on it. What sort of aid is required? I mean, we see half-empty shelves, but a half-empty shelf of food may be a better supply than the Russian soldiers have hundreds of miles away from home. Their supply lines don't seem to be working well. So what's the state of food, clothing, medicine, and other supplies that people need?
Of course, we need and food and medicine and everything. In some places, in some cities, people have nothing at all, like Melitopol, like Kharkiv. It's a huge humanitarian problem there. And we have no green corridors to get to these places and help people and evacuate people. Because of Russians, they shoot every time, and it's impossible to evacuate and help people. And we are looking to all help from other countries and our partners, so our friends, any help. It can be, of course, we need safe equipment for our military and for our volunteers, because it's very dangerous for us to move between places, between cities.
Well, let's talk about how the average person can help, because there are a lot of notices on social media in the West that Red Cross, UNHCR, and other organizations are trying to raise money to help. And then there are counter messages saying, don't help these organizations. The UN is some sort of a plot or a conspiracy or what have you. My wild guess is that could be the Russian disinformation trying to prevent people from helping. Do you have a view of that?
We need all help. It's very difficult situation in Ukraine, because all economic is stopped. Nobody works, practically nobody works. So right now we help each other, and other countries help us to deliver aids in our places to our people. And it's thank you them for this, because for us it's very important. And yeah, sorry.
Is there an aid organization that you are seeing on the ground that is doing good work quickly? Because you can't last very long without water, for example. I think it's 3 days, 3 weeks without food, but children would be dying by that time. Is there an organization that you're seeing that is doing good works that Westerners can support?
We have a huge numbers of different centers to help people, many businessmen, many organizations, a huge number of people help to each other. And as I see, our Ukrainians help each other better than another organization, because we are here, we can do what we can, and we try to do our best to help each other. And from other countries, from West Ukraine, we get a lot of aid here in Kyiv, not only in Kyiv.
Well, that's what I wanted to find out. Let's get a geography lesson here, if you will. Kyiv, where you are, is how many kilometers from the Russian border?
From Russia to Kyiv, somewhere maybe 100, maybe 130.
Okay, and nothing can come in aid from there because the Russians are in Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
How many kilometers to what are the next borders? Poland, part of what used to be Czechoslovakia. How many kilometers to those borders?
600.
Now, is aid coming in from the West adequately?
A lot of aid from these countries.
And the Russian Air Force is not trying to stop it or can't stop it, right?
And they can't stop it. It's okay from these countries, everything is going very fast, very organized. They help us very much.
All right. Anna, we'd like to check back in the days ahead. We wish you well. And, you get used to the little bit I saw in peacekeeping operations, you get used to the fact that there are soldiers on both sides of a line and you run across the line to go to dinner, or you feel safe doing something. You get inured to the fact that you're in a war zone. So be careful. I don't have to give you advice. You should give me advice because you're right there, but be careful.
Thank you. Stop Russians.
All the best.
Bye.